Good afternoon, citizens of the Republic. My name is Venison Jeffrey, and this is the Workers' Rights Platform. We are broadcasting live from the Workers' Rights Network. Now, today, as usual, again, we haven't started back our regular scheduled broadcast, today being the 23rd of the 12th month, 2024. Now, a very important video in which we find important, a matter of fact, to the intellectuals outside there, to the people that consider their vote. Because despite what any politician tell you, your vote have value, otherwise they will not be begging for your vote. Your vote have value. Now, as I said, if many of you outside there that have been following this channel, you would have known that we would have started a series of discourse concerning the vilifying of Gary Griffith. And the position that we take from this side of the fence is why at this point in time, they want to turn the former Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith, into a villain. And we are seeing concerted efforts from plenty of the people that are outside there. High official. And the thing about this story is every time that we would have came here on this platform and echo the sentiments of the people that is on the ground level, none of you intake we word because we too poor. Who is the workers' rights? Who is Candace? Who is Sheldon? And who is the people? If you deny anything that we see on this platform is to turn your back on the people. These things, what I am saying here is facts. These are the sentiment of the people. Now I could go in and I could show you how much text message we just get on a daily basis, and it amount to thousands of WhatsApp message. It reached a point that, you know, the phone, most of the time you have to be deleting and refreshing and all them kind of things. That is what is going on. Gigs of data just storing in the information on a daily basis. Now, we would have discovered a video from Gary Aboud. And it's only fair that we play this video in its entirety. And what I am calling on here is for you, the members of the public. Now we go bring all the story together in which you can get a clear view as to the shadow we are trying to cast. It might look like we talking so here and we talking so there. We go bring all together that you will understand. Without further ado, let us go into the video from Gary Aboud, in which we would have placed here, a matter of fact, and say to you, members of the public, this is a warning, a matter of fact, for the UNC.
Corporate Secretary of Fishermen and Friends of the Sea. I also own a private company which I built from scratch. 30 years ago we started, and today it's a prominent contributor in many areas of national development. I'm not blowing any horns, but we all have a place here. Now, the UNC has gone down a road where its main spokesperson is spreading hate and wants to expel and close down all of the 1%. Now, this person never made any success of any business whatsoever. And with great respect to Kamala, I'm wondering why would she want the UNC to hate and expel businesses? So Extra Foods should be shut down, Starlight Drugs, Starbucks, Vemco, Mario's, Possad's the Food King. There's plenty people who are millionaires in Trinidad. And we have a place here and we have a contribution to make. Now, if Kamala wants to divide the Africans and the Indians and spread hate amongst them and divide them even further than the demons that already have, then maybe she should be part of the labas and the dustbin and a cesspit. But don't take all the good people in the UNC and drag them down a road where they want to hate each other. Successful businesses have a contribution to make. We are citizens, we are patriots. I have no shame in my success. I have worked 12 hours a day for 40 flicking years. When other people were going to the beach and hanging out, I always think of a way to make it work. Now, Philip Alexander wants to hate me. He's a Syrian like myself. Because he didn't make a success of his life, he wants to destroy people that have worked 12 and 14 hours a day to make theirs. Is that what the UNC stands for? For a man that called the leader a drunk and a whore should now be waving a flag conveniently. Could you imagine Mr. Alexander as the Minister of Finance or the Minister of Works? Where does his excellence come from? What has he contributed to national development that the yellows, the UNC, should grab onto him and make him the mouthpiece of the party? I don't have no alliance to anybody. I am looking for love and peace, for unity and for national development that could help all people. Where does Philip come into this? What is happening to the UNC? If you belong to the UNC, have you lost your tongue? Have they cut it off? Are you neutered? Don't you see what is happening to the UNC? As it stands now, I'll tell you with great respect, I would be willing to work with anybody to fight the UNC so that this nonsense that Kamala is promoting is cut in the bud and she is kept out of Parliament for life. Just for what has happened with Mr. Alexander and what he has said in the past 2 weeks is enough grounds that nobody should vote for the UNC. Let's shut them down because they are spreading hate and division, attacking national development. Who is going to develop the national economy without capital? People who can't run a business can't run a business. I'm not saying that we should create a green carpet for business people to run away with billions. But there has to be a level playing field where we all have a part to play. Extra Foods came from nowhere. Pennywise came from nowhere. So what? I must hate Pennywise because he's brilliant? Because he has a team that held together and built his company and gave the consumers something that made them loyal to him? Come on, we're not going down like Chavez. We're not expelling 20,000 businesses, Kamala. With great respect to you, Kamala, you are leading your people astray, and I must encourage you to re-examine what your strategy is. If it is a strategy of promoting hate, then it's time we shut down the UNC. Completely shut it down. Get rid of all of them because they're not worthy of the flag of Trinidad and Tobago.
Now, members of the public, why you think Gary Aboud is speaking out like this? Why you think Gary Aboud come on a public in social media and stating what he's saying? There are many things that a lot of you are not seeing, are not hearing, that are way behind the scene. With all due respect to all the parties that involved, again, some of the opinions that was said there about Philip Alexander, I don't agree with. My opinion concerning this and the team's opinion on this matter and to the wider public is that if it is we have a common enemy, which is the PNM, that are destroying Trinidad and Tobago, we are all feeling it. All of us. Every single one of us are feeling the pain of this government. Incompetence across the board. And a man said, don't quote him in it. But the alliance to get away, to get rid of the PNM must be a people's alliance. And it mustn't be akin to any party, or everybody must be involved. Everybody must be involved. You are seeing at this point in time that the Syrians and them, the 1%, it reaching home. That is a cry for help. That is a cry for help. If Gary Aboud could come and talk so, he ain't gonna say about, you know, thing cut it in half. He ain't gonna say that. That for me to say, that for you to say. That, my friend, is a cry for help. Everybody feeling it. And we must come together as one. Nobody ever see the thing about this whole alliance thing. Everybody want preeminence over this thing to dominate the scene. And in having a conversation or seeing the answers and the responses and the information that Gary Griffith have been putting within the public domain, to me, it is justified. I ain't talking about the banter, you know. Any alliance must have a form of structure. And if it don't have a structure inside of it, it will be just like 2010 to 2015. The structure must be present. You can't deal with that after the fact. Yes, we want this common enemy out. We want a better Trinidad and Tobago. But it's not just the politician that want that. It's the people that want that. So any alliance, a matter of fact, yes, there are people who hold more of the cards, a matter of fact. There are a lot of us, there are people outside that hold a lot of the card. But if this thing continue, this nasty stinking back and forth within the public domain, if this thing continue like this, we will all suffer. We will all suffer. Coming down in a car today, sitting down, and hearing the passengers and them discussing this economy in Trinidad and Tobago. One of the passengers would have said that she don't have no hope again here in this country. And if the PNM win again, they will leave Trinidad and Tobago. Prominent PNM officials that, taglining and following. Them and all saying the same thing. But what about the people that can't leave? And we mustn't get vexed to say we want to leave. We must get vexed and say, let us vote all the PNM. Don't get vexed and say, I go with Helmer vote. And anytime, at any point in time, that if the PNM win elections, we must blame the opposition. Because this thing, real serious, is a life and death issue. This thing is a life and death issue. So before we go on again, to the many of you that may not, that now join the live, a matter of fact, I'll go in and play back the video from Gary Aboud. And you for yourself, this is a warning, a matter of fact. You don't want to hear it from us. Every time we speak it, every time we talk about things that is existing within the public domain, nobody don't want to pay it mind. Afterwards, when you hear other people talk about it, or you jump, take the idea. Take the idea, because many of it, check the history that we have on this platform. We would have been mouthing the same issue from day one.
My name is Gary. I am the corporate secretary of Fishermen and Friends in the Sea. I also own a private company which I built from scratch. 30 years ago we started, and today it's a prominent contributor in many areas of national development. I'm not blowing any horns, but we all have a place here. Now, the UNC has gone down a road where its main spokesperson is spreading hate and wants to expel and close down all of the 1%. Now, this person never made any success of any business whatsoever. And with great respect to Kamala, I'm wondering, why would she want the UNC to hate and expel businesses? So Extra Foods should be shut down, Starlight Drugs, Starbucks, Venco, Mario's, Passad's the Food King. There are plenty people who are millionaires in Trinidad. And we have a place here, and we have a contribution to make. Now, if Kamala wants to divide the Africans and the Indians and spread hate amongst them and divide them even further than the demons that already have, then maybe she should be part of the labas and the dustbin and a cesspit. But don't take all the good people in the UNC and drag them down a road where they want to hate each other. Successful businesses have a contribution to make. We are citizens, we are patriots. I have no shame in my success. I have worked 12 hours a day for 40 flicking years. When other people were going to the beach and hanging out, I always think of a way to make it work. Now, Philip Alexander wants to hate me. He's a Syrian like myself. Because he didn't make a success of his life, he wants to destroy people that have worked 12 and 14 hours a day to make theirs. Is that what the UNC stands for? For a man that called the leader a drunk and a whore should now be waving a flag conveniently? Could you imagine Mr. Alexander as the Minister of Finance or the Minister of Works? Where does his excellence come from? What has he contributed to national development that the yellows, the UNC, should grab onto him and make him the mouthpiece of the party? I don't have no alliance to anybody. I am looking for love and peace, for unity, and for national development that could help all people. Where does Philip come into this? What is happening to the UNC? If you belong to the UNC, have you lost your tongue? Have they cut it off? Are you neutered? Don't you see what is happening to the UNC? As it stands now, I'll tell you with great respect, I would be willing to work with anybody to fight the UNC so that this nonsense that Kamala is promoting is cut in the bud and she is kept out of Parliament for life. Just for what has happened with Mr. Alexander and what he has said in the past 2 weeks is enough grounds that nobody should vote for the UNC. Let's shut them down because they are spreading hate and division, attacking national development. Who is going to develop the national economy without capital? People who can't run a business can't run a business. I'm not saying that we should create a green carpet for business people to run away with billions. But there has to be a level playing field where we all have a part to play. Extra foods came from nowhere. Pennywise came from nowhere. So what? I must hate Pennywise because he's brilliant? Because he has a team that held together and built his company and gave the consumers something that made them loyal to him? Come on, we're not going down like Chavez. We're not expelling 20,000 businesses, Kamala. With great respect to you, Kamala, you are leading your people astray, and I must encourage you to re-examine what your strategy is. If it is a strategy of promoting hate, then it's time we shut down the UNC. Completely shut it down. Get rid of all of them. Because they're not worthy of the flag of Trinidad and Tobago.
Good afternoon to you again, citizens of the Republic. And this is constructive criticism coming from the top, coming from a man who have been fighting discourse always on the ground and speaking out against the many injustice. This is not something to attack Gary Aboud on. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. Everybody have a part to play as to ridding this country of this present government. And it mustn't be held in a particular way that there are people doing it to their own hurt with their hand behind the back and they're not sure. It's supposed to have room. There should be accommodation and room for everyone. There must be a revolution, a change of the very same UNC party in which it could hold that kind of national acceptance. Yes, we know it are the base that keeping up the party. We know that, we respect that. But with due respect to the people on top, the people that are making the decisions concerning that with the UNC, it mustn't be a closed circuit. And that is all that I have to say on that subject. Take heed. So who have ears to hear, let them hear. And if you want to forbear, do it at your own hurt. Right, so we are back. Now, before we go, we would like to mention a few things, as a matter of fact. Yesterday was Kezel Jackson big party outside there, in which she was
Lisa Morris,
in which there was a lot of people that would have gathered. Yes, we would have tried to reach out to Kezel at some point in time as to find out where she mindset was with this whole party story, with this whole giveaways to the poor, to this one, to that one. We was trying to find out from her specifically where her mindset was on that subject. But to those that did not see what taking place, let us play the video right now so you go have an idea as to what we are talking about. Now, that was the condition after people running to the stage. You see Kezel there. That was the chaos at a simple giveaway
Patrons didn't get what they're supposed to get.
at the Center of Excellence.
Angry. Disappointment to the fullest.
Now, that was the scene yesterday at the Center of Excellence, in which people gathered there, and Kezel, I started wondering where Kezel getting all that money from to do all of that. I don't know. We would have tried to reach out to her concerning, want to know motive, because that is what some of our followers have been asking, and we really tried to reach out to the girl. Wall Street tried to reach out to her, and she says, well, she was busy. And after all of this, after all that would have taken place, people get microwave, who get bike, who get $1,000 cash grant, housing, she helping with housing and all these things. And to see the behavior of one or two individuals, and then at the end of the day, you are hearing commentators on mainstream media talking about, Trojan horse and all that kind of nonsense. But anybody that resorting to disrupt something like that, who would benefit in? Who stand to benefit if somebody disrupt a big function like that? Who stand to benefit? Now we have our next video, and I wanted to hold your thoughts right there. The next video here could bring some clarity to the question that I now ask. Who stand to benefit? Yes, Father.
Life in PNM country.
Yeah. What's up going on here? Watch. PNM people, all they watch them. All they watch them. I said that hungry mouth PNM people. Kezel, I tell you that. I said that hungry mouth PNM. All they watch them. Watch. What's up going on? Watch. The fighting. Watch. What's up going on here?
Life in PNM country.
Yeah. What's up going on here? Watch. PNM people, all they watch them. All they watch them. I said that hungry mouth PNM people. Kezel, I tell you that. I said that hungry mouth PNM. All they watch them. Watch. What's up going on? Watch. The fighting. Watch. What's up going on here?
Life in
Well, I hope that answer your question as to who that to disrupt a function like that, who that stand to benefit. I hope that answer your question, citizens of the Republic. Now, the next individual would have break down this whole thing very well. It didn't make no sense we reinvent the wheel. There are other good storytellers outside there. As I say, they are not all the time we agree with every single thing that people are saying. But, the story was broken down quite entertaining, a matter of fact, from this individual. So, as I say, let me don't reinvent the wheel. Let me go to the explanation from my next social media prominent face, a matter of fact.
Yeah. Grab a snack, let me bag a bit. Blag a bit. I will never words out because it is bacchanal time, cut and come true. Here now. I was going to do a 3-part video on Kezel Jackson and this drive that she was having. Now I am totally against charity and charity drives, and I will do that in another video because this is a bacchanal segment. So for all those who know and keeping up with Kezel Jackson, she has a lot of charity drives where she's giving away. She gave away appliances last week or week before. Then she gave away money, and now she's giving away toys for the children. So she had a charity drive event today at Center of Excellence. And she went live. So I was in and out of the live. And while watching the live, the people were behaving ridiculously. They were not following instructions. They were not sitting down. And Kezel, you could see she was getting exasperated. And she was getting angry. And she was like, if I don't behave, I will shut it down now. And my video was going to be If you lay down with dogs, you're going to get fleas. I'm not saying that these people are dogs, but it have a reason why poverty exists in certain communities. That have poverty is linked to a poverty mindset and that gimme mentality. The letters Kezel Jackson was getting, I did a video on the difference between a need and a want. And these people asking for things like microwave, and these people asking for things like playpens. None of these things are needs, and big working people have raised their children from childhood to adult without having playpens. And yet, these people who supposed to be impoverished feel that they need a playpen and they need this and they need that, and somebody must give it to them. Yeah? So I had a problem with the whole thing from the inception. But then I went onto the live and I was watching the people who were there. And it is young people, healthy people, people who have 2 legs, 2 hands, able to work, able-bodied people, and nobody in this event from Kezel Jackson go right back. Wasn't having a problem with the demographic of these people, that it is not old people, it is not people who are unable to work. This is young, sprightly, healthy people. Some of them, so a guy in particular had on a set of gold and one big gold earring in his ears. It have women there with weave down to the bottom. Or they could afford all these things, but all they hear begging for bikes for their children. And you understand, priorities in the wrong place. Or they will spend a whole day in the center of excellence, get up early and go to get free thing as opposed to work for what all they want. Anyhow, I know what I come to tell all you. Some girl get vexed. I hear somebody was screenshotting the live and the footage supposed to be out soon somewhere on Facebook, so you can look for it. And who see it first, send it for me. And listen, the girl decided to hit Kezel Jackson a fucking bellas. Blow! Blow! But here now, these people doesn't do the fucking research.
Hey, I forget to tell you guys, parental guidance is advised to this part of the segment because, you know, this is, as she does call herself, raw talk. She does talk raw. So, parental guidance is advised.
Me, big body me, 6 feet, 250 pounds will not hit Kezel Abellas because Kezel is a black belt in martial arts. Or they just wild and crazy and Kezel cough out its fucking face. The scuffle was so strong, Kezel lose his slippers, the security fighting, everybody fighting. Kezel is about these fucking streets, she will fuck you up. Like who tell you that in your big body head you come to beg, to bring your stink cat to come and beg for something from she and decide you're going and slap out your face because you upset. You upset that she probably taking too long. You upset that you didn't get called. You upset for whatever reason. And you decide this was what you wanted to do. Slap out Kezel Jackson face. Black belt. Martial artist. Expert shooter. You decide that what you want to do with your life. This bright Sunday. You decide that what you want to... All it is be good. All it is just run up any tree. Anything. Anyway, she gets she face good cough out. I don't know who else get Lexi security. Well, Kezel have heavy security as well. But she don't really need the security because she can handle she fucking business. We will see how this develops. But I just want to say when they lay with dogs, they will get fleas. Poor people are very ungrateful. They're very entitled. They always want things that they cannot afford because they never work for it. And they have a lot of people who genuinely need and will work hard for what they want, don't have opportunities. And then it have poor people by choice. Poor people by choice are the people who have watched life, understand that they are people who like to give, and that is give them pleasure to give. That is part of their religion to give, like the Muslims to give alms. And they have made a conscious decision that that is how they're going to live. They will sit down every Christmas and get into every given group and get a hamper from everybody. They will sit down every single school time and see who giving out books and who giving out this. And they have decided that this is how they are going to live. This is how they're going to earn. And that is a problem, and that is a pandemic that Trinidad and Tobago is experiencing. Anyhow, I'll keep all you updated on this girl who decided that she see a casket by Belgroves that she wanted to earn. But I hear Kezel Jackson, whole party was fighting, everybody was fighting, everybody scuffled. Anyway, keep up with the Jacksons here on the Radio Talk. I will keep you informed. And in case I didn't say this before, all of this information is alleged. The story is developing and subject to change and new information coming in.
Well, we see Raw Talk putting she disclaimer. Everything subjected to change as the story is still developing. Right, so that was the incident that would have taken place yesterday at the Center of Excellence. Everybody know Kezel Jackson giving out a whole set of things. And, yard was to put wherever finances, money, to have some chance. I think it's $300, and then you had to join up and all kind of things. So we was, as I say, we was trying to get it from Kezel Jackson herself, and it didn't materialize into anything. So we hope that thing gets sorted out, and I hope you listen to the explanation. It's something that we quite agree with. We could not say it in such a way, but that is what it is. Now, just to throw our 2 cents onto this thing that would have been taking place within the public domain with Lisa Morris Julian. And I'm saying that there are a lot of people outside
Lisa
here.
Morris.
Right, not that one. Yes, it's that one, sir. A lot of people outside there. Want to know this thing with this commission of inquiry, a matter of fact. That, we find certain things a little bit fishy. And, when we hear again this explanation from Lema, I wanted to know as to, when she says something, we doesn't take it lightly, a matter of fact. We just take it very seriously. So we're going to play this video here.
This government taking us for fools. The chief fool himself, Fitzgerald Hines, taking us for fools. All you didn't launch no investigation when the 3 children died in Maraval, when Woodbrook didn't have a truck. You didn't launch no investigation when the elderly man in Santa Cruz died and Santa Cruz don't have a truck. You didn't launch no investigation when the elderly woman died from Shafford Court and Belmont didn't have a truck. You didn't launch no investigation when the child from Mover died and Mover didn't have a truck. But because Lisa did, woe unto us. All of a sudden, let's launch an investigation into the fire service. Let's figure out what's the problem, what happened, blah, blah, blah. Who to blame? Why it is Arima only have 1 truck? Why it is 6 out of the 11 stations in Northern Division don't have trucks? Why it is firefighters don't have breathing apparatus? And then to make matters worse, all you come up with a committee to investigate. And who's the chairman of this committee? A retired chief. So you bring somebody who was part of the problem to investigate the current problem that he himself continued. Because let's not pretend that this fire service fiasco happened overnight. This was over successive incompetent chiefs. The last one exacerbated it. But all of them have fire service where it is today. What is this ex-chief that they bring back here, his achievement as chief of fire service when he was there? What is his great legacy? What did he do? What did he achieve? What were his accomplishments? Because he was chief from 2015, I believe, to 2019. In 2015, had a major fire in Couva. And Leo Ramkissoon was the president at the time, and he said, hey, all you can't blame Couva for that. If Couva had better equipment, they would have been able to respond. A neighbor came out to defend the fire service as well as some other neighbors, saying that they did their best, they did what they could despite the lack of equipment. All they never do nothing since then. All they never do nothing for all the children that dead, the people that dead. All they didn't do no inquiry into the disabled child. In the last fire in Arima, which was, what, a month ago? No inquiry, no investigation. But because Lisa died, oh my God, we coming out sharp. All you're looking for a scapegoat, and I don't know why you just don't be honest and say that's what we're looking for somebody else to blame. All you're losing every opportunity to make fire service better because you're looking for a scapegoat. It's either you're looking for a scapegoat or you're looking to install one of your big PNM Sawatis supporters in a position. That's the only thing I could think of here. That's all you're trying to bring in somebody, all you want to put there. Bringing in a former chief. So what, he going to investigate himself? Is that what it is? He going to investigate himself? How far back he going? All you mad? All you mad? All you crazy? Yeah, no. This is beyond stupidity. And then all you want to think, we are not the laughing stock of the world? There's an organization called the National Fire Protection Association. It's a foreign agency that sorts out fire services. Why y'all don't write to these people and ask them, hey, come and do assessment of our fire service and help us upgrade our service to the National Fire Protection Agency standards, which is, which is what is happening all over the world. Paulia, why you don't do that? No, you're bringing back a dead horse who have part to play in why fire service in the condition it in to investigate. Because what happened in fire service, as if you don't know what happened in fire, they don't have fucking equipment and tools. That's obvious. 6 stations in North don't have trucks. Chagaramas, Woodbrook, Mova, Belmont, Santa Cruz, and Sandy Grande. Pinal don't have a truck. Princess Tongue don't have a station. And then you're looking for who to blame for that? That's the government. When was the last time fire service buy a fire tender, a appliance for a station? We're not talking about the hose lorry. That was a waste of money. We did not need that when there were needs for fire trucks. When was the last time fire service buy a fire truck? When was the last time fire service buy BA sets? Fitzgerald Hines, all they backing up the wrong tree and the wrong season for it, eh? Remember, God don't like ugly.
My God. And there is someone there that could talk at lengths with this whole fire station, fire service type of thing. And this wasn't the first time that people die in fire. Now the information that was said there is the God honest truth. What are we doing with monies in this country? What are we spending money on in this country? Is that what we want? Is that the representation that we want in this country? After this whole board that was appointed by Fitzgerald Hines, yes, we would have done the research. We come here to break it down and dissect it and put it in parts, but it's just the normal stupid rhetorics that it has used in media. They embarrass the media when the media try to answer certain questions. The same thing. It is a clear statement from the government that telling you that they do not care about you. If they could do a study on the fire that take place with Lisa Morris Julian and forgetting the thousands, the hundred people that die in the past, they are telling you, hey, we care about only us who high up in the PNM. To them that lower down, we don't care about you. We go get the councillors and them. We go get the ministers and them. We go keep a big session, a big PNM sports day and family day. We go keep a retreat, a big line before election, because we know I like rum. We go give away that. Somehow we go get a little 300 and a little part 8 tanks. Say, boy, we can't put back them inside here, you know? And destroying this country. I said it. Them that high up the press conference that was done by Fitzgerald Hines, in which we would have did an in-depth analysis on, we would have gleaned from that press conference that Fitzgerald Hines is saying indirectly, to hell with the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. He's doing an investigation through a committee that was appointed by him to find out what would have went on with his colleague. Games in this country, and we still want to vote PNM. My God. So to you, the members of the public, we didn't plan as again to come on live. Thanks for joining us here on the live. Many of you that are joining us outside here. If this is your first time, again, my name is Renison Jeffrey. I never Indra Abdul, I never hear Kamala preach it. Family, listen to me. Good evening everyone. Nikisha Anthony, Medford, we can't afford to let the PNM go back in power. You see, the salient point of this whole story is what you are not understanding. The salient point here is not that Indra Abdul, it's not that the hate, the explicitness of hate that is being preached, is not that we're talking about. You know. Gary Aboud may be a little vocal in what he is saying. But what we are saying concerning this whole thing is this alliance thing, nobody should be excluded. Put aside personality. Because this morning I would have heard on the same Ground Report platform this morning, channel, that Andy didn't get in and he continue supporting the party. And Roberts, for somewhat of a reason, he didn't get in neither, and he continued to support the party. Again, I believe that Gary Griffith have a part to play in this upcoming general election. And we are seeing that the gentleman, the boy, would have been reaching out to the opposition. I mean, come on. Let me align together. Let me do this thing structurally. And I could go into this, a matter of fact, I have to wrap up here soon, but I could go into this. Let me go into this a little bit. Because I want the members of the public, you outside there, as to understand this whole thing from inception. So we go in to start with the page. We go in on the page just now. Let's see if I could find it here. Let me go to the page. So many of you outside there could understand what Gary Griffith is trying to say. And apparently what Gary Aboud is trying to because this thing sounding real logical. Right, we're searching for the page. Searching for Gary Griffith page so you could understand what we are speaking about a matter of fact. So we get the video. We're going into this thing here this afternoon because it might take a little longer than expected. Again, we do it for the benefit of the people that you know you will, so you could have an understanding as to the angle that we are taking concerning this. Right, so we get our part up. Let me get it on the screen so you could see what we are speaking about. So we was working behind the scene here trying to see if we could get this thing up so you could see. Right, so we have it there and let us play it.
The political leader of the National Transformation Alliance, Mr. Gary Griffith. Mr. Griffith, thank you very much for joining us on this beautiful but rainy morning in Trinidad and Tobago. Thanks again. Is he there?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning.
Morning to you. Well, I want to look at your party's preparedness for the next general election, of course, over the past few days, and it is something that we have been discussing. You and I have discussed it in the past, of a potential relationship with your party and the United National Congress going into the next general election. From what we saw a few days ago, and I think it came as a surprise to some, because there's this picture with the various political leaders and the opposition leader, but we did not see you there. Does this mean that an end of any sort of a relationship between your party and the UNC for the next general election?
Oh, definitely not. So to all of those persons who were previous COP supporters, that 148,000 and to 200,000 all UNC supporters, let your heart not be bothered. These are very early times as it pertains to any type of strategic alliance. What I can state is that what we are doing in the NTA is to prevent a repeat of what took place in 1986 and in 2010, where there was this, just let's join together to defeat the PNM. Been there, done that. The country does not want to see 3 strikes and you're out. Those floating voters, independent voters, whatever bridge constituency, whatever you call them, previous ONR, NAR, of which Kamala Prasad-Bissessar was part of, and the COP, those individuals, they want to see that there's something that is unified, something that has a degree of code of ethics, and to make sure that they will not be used, because that is what happened in 2010 to 2015. The UNC got 21 seats, and then the COP supporters had no representation in the running of the government. So you move from 148,000 votes in the COP in 2007 to 467 in 2020. It does not take away the value now of the COP. In fact, what we are doing now, unlike a cosmetic approach to invite people and do a photo op with Barry directing people, that is not an alliance. An alliance is what we are doing. The COP, the NTA, the HOPE, and other organizations, we have been meeting for the last several months, making sure that we can cement a foundation to ensure we can sustain ourselves in government. And that is through a proper system of a roadmap towards transformation of Trinidad and Tobago. That is how we unite the country. If you cannot unite other political parties, then you certainly can't unite a country. So that is the direction that we are going. When that happens, we can then move on to the other step. I must add quickly, the big concern that, notice Kamala Prasad-Bissessar, what she did say is that, well, Gary can't be welcome here if it is that he attacks Julian John. Well, if we say I don't need to be welcome, this is not an all-inclusive fit. This is mutual agreement. I need to welcome you as well. So the perception that from Kamala Prasad-Bissessar is I will decide who I bring into the fold. That is not happening anymore. There's going to be a degree of equity. And your concern about what I said about Julian John was that I said that certain persons in the UNC are adamant that the UNC must go alone, which for the last 36 years in the existence of the UNC, they have never won an election on their own in a 3-horse race. So I said that, and that was deemed as terrible. But now you've done the exact thing that I said. So you are upset by me speaking the truth, which has been the problem with Gary Griffith throughout my life, whether I was minister or commissioner. So you're upset that I said that Julian John and others who believe the UNC must go alone, they are wrong. And you're upset about that, so that I don't want to talk to Gary. But you accept someone who has said the nastiest things about yourself, your party, the most disgusting things, and it is okay to keep that person. And let me finally add on that point, what we are going to have is a code of ethics in that alliance that we are having. We are not going into that gutter politics. Let me tell you, Marlon, I have been a soldier. You know, there are politicians who believe that they want to be soldiers. They are toy soldiers. I have fought against the IRA. Bullets were flying over my head as the youngest officer during the coup. I was the first Trinidad and Tobago citizen to return with a UN peacekeeping medal, fighting to save democracy in Haiti for 6 months, living in a tent. I know what a war is. I know what it is to try to kill. But I also understand as a politician, our job is to unite. When you hear a person making a statement that after a member of parliament has died saving her children and he could shout out, they should all burn, and then criticizing and demonizing a lady, another politician, because she is...
Now, I'm going into this whole story here, but I hope that you get the point. The point of this whole thing is to bring everybody together underneath one flag. And there must be certain boundaries and criterias that the people within the unified group should subscribe to, whether it be Philip, Gary, and everybody else, the unions. Everybody want that form or that sense of certainty when it happens. So it mustn't fall apart. It mustn't just be an alliance of convenience. And when the time comes, everything just fall apart and people doing what they want and saying what they want and appointing who they want. people in this time here, people don't want to feel used. Again, we are facing one of the most terrible time in Trinidad history. Not taken away from 1970. But right now, we are facing a serious time in this country, where all corners of Trinidad and Tobago needs to be unified. Tobago want the autonomy, the fighting that. We need to be unified in this country. And that means people must be, their minds, the stress on their minds of this unity suddenly falling apart or getting out of hand is what they don't want. And with that, I say all. My name is Renison Jeffrey. This is the Workers' Rights Platform. We are broadcasting live from the Workers' Rights Network. And, the director telling me, I have to go about that fact. We apologize again for not even open any lines because most of the time we just open the line. The last time we supposed was to take some calls. Yes, we missed some calls, but we do apologize. So we are heading out, and to you outside the citizens of the Republic at shopping, be mindful, be careful. Those that are in the streets of Port of Spain, be careful there too. And God bless. And if you haven't subscribed to our platform. Thank you.